any connection or obligation to me, yet she graciously accepted my request to meet for breakfast and talk about race and to share our diverse experiences living in the Jackson area. She invited me to be part of a community group, Racing for Equity, a group committed to continue learning, having hard conversations, and insisting that Jackson become an equitable city. A flyer distributed at Jackson High School accuses her of hating white people, which is ridiculous. Keisha does not hate white people. She will be honest with you. She will tell you how your words and actions land with her. She's a nice person, but she will not pretend with you just to be nice. Trust is built on honesty, on knowing that you can count on the other person to tell you the truth about the impact of your words and actions. It's uncomfortable to hear criticism and opposition to the way things are and have been. But if we aspire to be good people who believe in fairness, which I think is true of most of us, it is important to hear what others really think and feel and experience. It's crucial to listen and to learn more about another person's circumstances. Then, to be the kind of people we wish to be, we're called to take action, not to silence or intimidate, but to work together through problem solving to achieve fairness and equity. I support Keisha in her efforts to question and disagree and voice concerns. She brings a valuable perspective to this board. Thank you.
Thank you. We have Mike McKinney and then Randy Herrick.
You wanted Mike McKinney?
Mike McKinney.
Okay, there's another Mike right behind me.
Oh.
I'm also speaking in support of Keisha. She, as my wife just stated, we met her 5 or 6 years ago and have been involved with her in conversations about race. In particular for me, she is leading a discussion, community discussions in the library with books regarding race. The last one that we discussed, I found it particularly helpful because it talked about continuing this discussion with grace, which is something that is difficult for us to do, and I think particularly difficult for white people to do, because we become easily offended when we're questioned. But I appreciate the questioning. I appreciate the honesty. I appreciate this terminology that has made me think and question my own beliefs. As a former teacher, I know it's important to be able to have these kinds of discussions in the classroom. It's important to be able to have these kinds of discussions at the faculty level and also here with the board. So I hope that you don't dismiss her comments. I hope that you don't represent her as evil, but she brings something that's vitally important to us, and I appreciate that. Thank you, Keisha.
Thank you very much. Randy Herrick, and then William Hastings.
I'd like to thank you for the opportunity to speak. I'd also like to apologize because I didn't find out about this meeting and what was going on here tonight until about 4 o'clock this afternoon, so I'm not as prepared as I'd like to be. I'm a resident of Parma, but I'm a volunteer at one of your elementary schools in your library. And frankly, I think we ought to be talking about the fact that you need volunteers in your libraries more than what Keisha had to say on Twitter or Facebook. The library doesn't run itself without people going in there and taking care of it, and it really needs a paid volunteer. I will tell you that where I am in my life right now is because of a librarian and an 8th grade English teacher and the ability to learn to read. I was a non-reader in 7th grade. But I am also a white male, college educated. I make a 6-figure salary. I am a veteran of the United States Navy, and I'm a homeowner. The first 2 statements there, white male, are the only things that I had no choice over. They're also the two things that had the biggest impact on all the other things that I accomplished in my life. It made it easier to get a college education. It made it easier to get the job I wanted in the Navy. It made it easier for me to be advanced in the Navy. It made it easier for me to buy a house. My whiteness is privilege. And the reason somebody called me tonight was because they know that I recognize that fact, and that I think that people that were not white have a disadvantage in this country because of all the systemic racism that we've put in place to keep people from getting ahead. And that is called whiteness, which is a whole lot nicer term than racism. Thank you.